Good morning, everyone. How's it going? Welcome to this week's of Access Denied. It is a rainy day, but it's a good day. We've had a lot going on in the realm of public education. Got some good things to show you, good things to talk about, but we also want to hear from you guys and how things are going inside and outside the school building and around education for your children. This has been a week coming off of TSU, the Titans, and UT losing. So going into another week, I know Sonya, your team won.
Roll Tide.
But yeah,
we don't never lose. All we do is win, no matter what.
I'm telling you. So people check in, let us know you here. Tell us good morning, and we'll go ahead and get started. But Sonya, how has your week started off?
Man, let me tell you. It's more of the same. Nothing has changed in the landscape of education.
Mm-hmm.
And so the movement continues.
Yes.
And I'll just drop it right there.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Part of what we'll talk about today, we'll talk about the MNPS's plan for the ESSA funds. We'll show you guys a little bit of that. Drop the link, answer any questions about that. Also want to hear what's going on inside the schools in education for you guys. We'll talk about money making its way from the government to the actual classroom. And then it was a recent poll that we'll dig into just a little bit. I think Vanderbilt ran it, but it talked about more and more parents losing hope in public education. We want to just read the article and just see where that comes from and what part gives parents the distrust. And so, yeah, we got a lot to discuss.
Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. Share, like, share.
Yeah.
You could all share. I'm sharing now.
Mm-hmm. I'll be right after you. Yeah, but I'll tell you one of the things our organizers and shout out to Torvis, we had some really good conversations early this morning about some parents that we're working with. And so it just come when parents watch Access Denied, they reach out to us and we start talking about what's the issue and what's the problem and what do they want to be true. It was really heartwarming to just hear this parent talk and realize where he started at and where he doesn't want his kids and what did he want to do about it. And I would say this parent was about that action. And so thank you for setting that up, Torvis.
But let's talk about let's start right there because, people, it's so funny. It was a school board member, chair of the school board. She's like, I got a new kid that's in school and, I need help I don't know what to do. So let me be clear what we do. We organize and develop powerful parent leaders to ignite a movement that demands equitable education policies and practices. So I'm so sorry, but we're not offering any parenting classes because we don't believe it's a parent problem. We have a system failure. We got a system problem. So when you got a system problem, you don't fight it with parent stuff. You fight it with the system stuff. So I want to be clear if anybody else is listening, in case anybody gets it twisted.
This is what we doing.
This is what we doing.
Yeah.
This is what we gonna do.
Yeah. And it's been, I'll tell you, I'll talk a little bit about the school board meeting last night. Interesting, I think NOAA made a big stance and they were talking about testing and they were saying how, kids are allowed access to AP courses and to be allowed in the Encore program, which is the gifted program. And what I could appreciate about them last night, they had people from all walks of life, a little older, who had retired from the school system, younger, who was in there, middle of the road, which their kids have graduated. They had white, black, Latino. It was a really good mix, and they all said the same thing. And they kept saying that the only reason most of their kids got into the Encore program was because they were told or they heard through the grapevine, whether it was at the doctor's office, at the country club, on a group chat that they needed to get a private person to assess their children to see if they were gifted. And most times it was about an 80% chance that their kids, the inkling that they felt that their kids were gifted, that person made it happen. And trying to go through the system, it was very rare. And it just stood out around equity. Even one lady who came to talk bad about the mask mandate, she was like, I don't like the mask mandate, but let me tell you this, like, yep, what they're saying over there about the testing, like, that's what we had to do. She was like, my pediatrician's office. And it sent I hope it was an aha moment to just the inequities.
Oh, really? Just last night, an aha moment? Damn it, if last night was just the aha moment, we really got a problem. I'm just gonna say that. Like, and shout out to Noah. I don't want to decrease anything that they did, but it's the same song.
Yeah.
And the same people, the have-nots, not having anything. And my question is to parents and anybody in the community who is listening, like, how much longer are we gonna keep begging these folks to do what they said they don't do, right? And really don't even feel the obligation or responsibility to do it. I mean, that segues us into, John, we were talking about this morning of them just always putting it on the parents, right? Like, the parents need to log in. The parents need to, log in to Infinite Campus and see the map scores. Okay, we see them. But what the hell y'all gonna do with it over there? What you gonna do with the stuff in the dashboard? It's the same thing. It is not a parent or grandparent problem. This is a system failure. And a system that continues to make more and more money as it fails.
Yeah, and going into that, sign, there was a report that came out, and I'm gonna try to pull it up, but it really talked about how the majority of the resources, so the school system has received more and more money, which parents don't realize, but they said the more money that the school system has been receiving, less of that has been going to the classroom. And so you start to ask yourself, well, but where does it go?
Oh, it goes to jobs. See, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm about tired of everything right now, so I'm over it. But school system is built to provide jobs. It's not to educate children. So what the hell are they doing? It is to provide jobs. I mean, our director of schools just made one of the biggest mistakes I think she's made since she's been here. I have been critical of the lack of partnership, but the decision that she made to promote, and I'm gonna call it out, Miss Carrie Randolph. Like Carrie, I'm sure she's got some great ideas, but Carrie created the Navigator program. It was a huge fail. It did not do what it needed to do, but yet she got promoted. And so, I'm a leader. I'm a leader, and so I'm going to call out leadership when leadership makes terrible. It was a terrible fiscal and overall. You don't promote people when they don't have good outcomes and give them raises with ESSA funds. Are y'all listening to me? I ain't telling no lie.
And we'll pull that article up too.
No, I ain't lied. I mean, you're giving people, raise, you create new positions. I know that every organization has to have changes, but to promote it, I said that to say that this education system it's about employing people. It has nothing to do with educating children, because yet have we heard from our director of schools anything about outcomes. And she's been asked by numerous people who advise her, which is the board, people who employ her, which is the board, people from the community, parent groups like ours. We have asked over and over again. And John, I'm gonna point this out.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let nobody catch you sleeping, because the priority school list came out yesterday at 5:00.
Yeah.
And nothing changed.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you one thing that did change, and maybe I'm wrong. I need to do the research, but I looked at the reward list, and usually, we got 15 to 21 schools on the reward list, and I think this time around, and I'll double check, but I seen two. I think it was like Glendale, and there was one more, and it went from us having, in the teens, almost the 20s, just as many priority schools we have had reward schools, and so I was going to look into that and kind of see what happened, because that's on a state level, and consistently, national schools in those communities have made it, and then the public charter schools have made it, but I didn't see any. So I'm gonna look at that and kind of dig deeper. But let me do this. Let me just read the headlines on this report, what you see and what it says. It says only 53% of education funding in Tennessee makes it to the classroom. Center report concludes, and it says education spending in Tennessee continues to increase year over year, but the amount of taxpayer dollars making it to the classrooms hasn't. A new report out Wednesday concludes it has decreased. Only 53% of education funding from the state, nearly 7% less than the national average, makes it into the classroom, directly impacting teachers and students. And the Beacon report tracks the state's education spending. And so Tennessee spends more than $11 billion on K through 12 education each year, or about $11,300 per student, according to the report. Funding has grown by about 30% since 2012, despite student enrollment increasing only 5% statewide. And so that's the headlines on that report that I wanted to kick off.
But it's the parents' fault.
Right.
I'm not going for that bull crap.
And I think it's been so easy for people, even the discussion we were having last night, we talked about, parents having to do their role. I was like, but wait a minute, what's their role? And they were like, looking online, and I was like, but how do they access it? Like, we just admitted we just created this process. And even in creating a process in August, we're just now, as of today or by Monday, like rolling it out. And, somebody chimed in, another board member, and said, they've been sending home the MAP test. I was like, our results are dismal. If you look at some of the surveys that we did for ESSER funds, it was 98,000 people that it went out to, 132 people sent it in. I was like, we got to change up our delivery in the way that we do parent and school relationship, because clearly we got 400 and some million on the line and surveys ain't working.
So the school board member that said that is in District 9. And again, you get stuff over there in District 9 that we don't get over here. Right. How many more times do we have to say that? That, to me, that's just privilege, Abigail. I think I'm gonna text her today. She don't get it. And as a matter of damn fact, she don't want to get it. Mm-hmm. How many more times we got to say? I mean, like somebody's lying, right? Like, how many more times we have to say, we don't get what you get? Right. You got your MAP scores, but how many schools did we call out in 2020 where the parents didn't even get it? Remember online, y'all? Mm-hmm. We need to go back to the video. Multiple parents, we didn't get it, and we even called a school live who said they didn't send it.
Oh, yeah.
Where Miss Bugs want everybody to go over there to Jones Pavilion. We called the school, and they wasn't handing them out. Sick of it.
Yeah. So that's interesting. I think we gotta dig deeper into more money not making it to the classroom. Where does it go? Sonya, that's something that you've been talking about. But how do we make sure as parents, like, those dollars are making it to the classroom? every time
Why
you
we
hear,
keep paying for something that we ain't gonna get no return on the investment on? I'm
Mhm.
over it. I'm over it. Like, I'm over it. What do we do, John?
I mean, one, we got to get more parents to understand the process that they're running it through and stop them dead in their tracks. And so we're using a personalized student dashboard. I think having parents understand that's where the information lives, because right now it's the delivery through the report cards. You know, when you got home, if your report card was good, you jumped off the bus, you ran in the house, you had the smiley faces. If your report card was bad, you know, you kind of came in the house late. You waited for the coast was clear and made a mad dash to your room. I think what they're doing now with the report cards is just what do we think it should look like? Like what? Oh, should they get an A here and a D here? Like it's almost like it's just painting it as they go. But what the dashboard is telling you, if the report cards say you got a B in reading, but when you look at the MAP scores and it say you're in the 5th grade with a Lexile level of 200, like training parents to realize that 200 means 2nd grade.
It is the responsibility of the school
Yeah.
to make sure that parents understand it. I don't care if you have a dashboard. In all that getting understanding, it is up to the leaders. They're being paid to be leaders,
Mm-hmm.
to write the vision and make it clear and make it plain. And if it is not clear and plain, there is no vision, the people perish.
Mm-hmm.
It is not the parent's fault.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how many degrees the parent has.
Yep.
Or don't have. If the vision is not clear, then they won't catch it.
Yeah.
The vision is not clear. Changus, you're a numbers man. And so numbers for you and your brain just kind of, calculate the way they calculate.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is not the same. And that's why we ask for personalized learning plans, because then those who don't understand how to operate the infinite campus, like you personalize the details, the instructions, the plan for the family to know how around them.
Mm-hmm.
It's a no-brainer. But when you're dealing with people that have no intention of making sure that something works, they have no intention.
Yeah. And so one of the things that I want to bring up, and so part of the presentation last night was to really talk about, the MAP scores. And like you said, Son, you're personalizing that learning, like looking at where the kids are scoring on the map, looking at where they're scoring on TN Ready, and having a plan in place, MTSS. I think I wrote that down, but the state uses RTI and the district uses MTSS, which I'll break that acronym down. I wrote it down. Multi-tiered system support,
which is still group support. It's
okay.
Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. They're doing the same thing they've been doing. I've talked to people in the district. Nothing has changed. And if don't nobody believe me, watch what happened with your children. Nothing's changed. Absolutely nothing has changed. What did they change? Okay, you got a new program, right? Anna Thorson, I saw her pissed off yesterday because there was a high schooler with dyslexia that looked like they had an online program that was spelling out the word bat.
Mm.
And so when you personalize the learning, you know where the child is, and then you tailor the learning to them. Why does she need to learn the word bat, or he or she need to learn the word bat and they're in high school? That's not the problem. It's low expectations, poor planning and implementation and poor leadership. And I'm just gonna call it out. And I'm gonna keep calling out until people, and I don't care if they get mad, but it's the truth. And if it's not, then say I'm lying.
Yeah. Hey, and this is what the MAP assessment says, just the headlines. Preliminary data indicates we will see declines compared to previous years that are consistent with last year's MAP and the TCAP scores. The next steps, FAST Bridge and MAP assessments are part of the universal screening process to identify students in need of additional supports. Schools have already begun using the test scores in instructional planning and individual student level. Spring and fall test scores for students enrolled in Promising Scholars are being analyzed to evaluate the impact of summer learning. So you always know you ask, what's the promise? And then the fall MAP scores are being loaded into the personalized student dashboard this week. And information regarding how to access and interpret these scores are being shared with families. And I just saw
but they already said it was successful, didn't they, Don? Didn't they say Promising Scholars was a success? Didn't they already say that? And that's how they applied for money at Bloomberg, and they got that big grant to do more tutoring. So what are they talking about? How they still evaluating? See, they be get the story straight.
Yeah. And Ivorye says, I can't get in the Infinite Campus and don't know how to. And so these are one of the things we want to track as parents to see, is it rolling down where you have someone who is reaching out to you to teach you, to help you, to support you how to log in? And are they reaching out for any individual student supports? This is how we hold the system accountable, by really asking parents. And so Ivorye, will be interested in the next few weeks to see, have you heard anything or seen anything? But Rhea Gamley says, problem is reading levels, translation aren't consistent across the district. Some schools inform students of Lexile levels, and some schools use Fontes and Pen Alpha Learning. And she was like, many students don't know their levels either.
It doesn't matter what their level is if you're not even teaching them how to read. The problem is they have used balanced literacy. So I don't care how you try to measure at this point, which, whether it's Lexile or if it's Fountas, it doesn't matter when you don't have the instruction that you need. You're going to get those false positives, right? So the state of Tennessee has admitted, Ms. Gamley, that they have failed to teach even your student, every student, even me, how to read the correct way of reading. And that is why it's funny how in some of these districts, the 60% matches the data based on the science of reading. That 60% of people, if they're not given the instruction they need, the implicit instruction around phonics, phonemic awareness, fluency, and comprehension, that they won't learn how to read. And it's mighty funny that those numbers are matchy. So we don't need any more proof. The thing is, we need to teach children how to read. Our educators have not been properly trained to teach students how to read. And so if they're not even able to teach them how to read, then of course you're going to have them trying to use different ways to prove that the child can read. Hell, they digging in the bottom of the barrel, and there goes your inconsistency, right? So I just want to make sure you guys are well aware of that, and you should be livid that your children they still not being taught how to read. John, we don't even know how many educators in the system have been given the professional development that's recently required by the state of Tennessee. We have no earthly idea. This could still be going on in these classrooms and you not even know it.
Yeah. And so again, this is just a post check, and we'd love to hear from parents on this. But the other thing they say, the personalized student dashboard, encouraging all families to sign up for a family portal account. Flyers went out with progress reports, which it looks awesome. Access to focus outcomes such as data, MAP scores, behavioral incidents, attendance, and more. But flyers went out with progress reports. Have you gotten any progress reports? Because that looks good on the PowerPoint, but I want to hear real from parents. Miss Gamily, I see Miss Nevaeh, I see Shamika, I see Danielle, I see Kimberly. Like, let us know, Darlene. Like, let us know, have you guys gotten the progress reports? And then have they reached out about the personalized student dashboard? Because they're changing the way they do support, but we got to see, is it really making it to the parents? Because that's the only way it's going to change.
Average said they shouldn't be teaching at all. Candace said, what are the resources available to enhance reading gaps? Putting pressure on the system, or you're going to pay for it. See, they have the money, over $400 million additional dollars on top of the 1.4 to 2 to 4 million, billion dollars they have. And I'm going to be transparent. Last night, my ex-husband called me about sending my child to another metro school for something. I mean, I ain't gonna go into all that. And he said, well, we can get him tutoring. And I told him, damn lie. Why should I pay for? Can we go half on tutoring? I ain't getting it, y'all. No, y'all gonna get that no and a World War III conversation. Like, why am I gonna pay for tutoring? Why should I have to pay for what he needs and deserves in the classroom? And I just, we have enough resources and money for us to do that, unless you guys have money to pay. Thomas said, I haven't received a progress report. Unless you guys have an abundance of money, unless you got some of the ESSA funds. I don't have money. And so, Candice, what should we do? My hope is that we connect with you.
Yep.
Because we got to close the reading gaps together.
Yep.
I said it to say, join our movement, and we're gonna show you how we're gonna close these reading gaps. Now, it is not a sprint; it is a marathon. On the work that we do, and so. I believe that when parents have the knowledge and understanding that they need, as a matter of fact, Candice, on Monday night at 6:00, please log in to our Facebook, because we're going to talk about literacy. We're going to talk about literacy. So you just in time, girl. God put you right here in this space, right on time. We're going to have Miss Sherry Lucas from Atlanta, Georgia, who is a literacy I call her an expert.
Yeah, I would call her expert.
She's an expert on literacy. And she is fighting tooth and nail to make sure, that children know how to read. Ms. Maupin said, Remind claims to have free tutoring. The main hard copies of everything concerning my child's assessment, progress, and IEP. That is great, but they can tell you that they're doing something and not even be doing it. And that's why it's important to join a movement such as this, to learn those things, because you guys, you're right. Y'all fighting, y'all getting copies, y'all doing everything. You're doing it by yourself, and the system is set up for you to just keep doing that until 12th grade and graduated, and you done played all out and they still didn't get what they need to get. So parents, I'm just gonna tell you something. I was about that too. Give me my stuff. I'm there. I'm doing everything. And I learned that I cannot do it by myself.
You can't do it by yourself. You can't. It's like marching up a hill, right? People build forts on hills because you got to march up. You got to get through the sticks, the stones. And even when you get to the door, it's not that you're going to get in. And as you think about Ms. Moffin and I have had a couple conversations, like, it's always hard to get them to do what they need to do. They eventually do it. But she breaking her back. But that's why we got to go as a team. We got to have Miss Moffin's back. And then we got to have Candace's back. And Candace got to have Thomas back. And then Rhea got to have Rhea's back. Like, I see.
She'll do all that. She'll do all that, and they'll say, "Well, she didn't do what she's supposed to do."
Yeah.
Ooh, don't give me the boy.
Discredit.
Boy, they so low down.
It's
like it's this PR thing they got. But the parents just, they got to do their part. Like, and they'll turn the whole situation 12, 14, 13 years of schooling and say you ain't do none of that you said you did. Man, it's crazy.
It's the real deal. So one of the things that we move on. So everybody just looking, I see we got Candice, Ivorye, Ms. Moffin, we got Rhea, Gamily, we got Darlene, we got Ms. Nevaeh, we got Shamika. I want you guys to look at this report, and it's a report that the school district needs to put together in order to really be in compliance with the ESSER funds. And we'll just start with the hard numbers. We'll spend just a little bit of time, but I want you to look at this because I want you to know this is not monopoly money. Like, this is real money that's coming in excess to really get things done. And so I've been on a thing whenever somebody told them we ain't got the money, I say, show me where they at. Cause we going on. If you ain't got it this year for anything, we need to figure out why. And I want you to look at this report and then let's just have a discussion about it. Let me blow it up just a little bit.
Blow that bug up.
Yeah.
This is why it's important to be in tune, y'all, because they submit this stuff. They got a phone number on there. They got the main customer service. They don't even have somebody real phone number on there. So they gonna make the
I didn't even notice
go
that.
to the customer service. You know what? I'm so sick of everything, everybody. I know y'all.
It ain't funny, but it's like
man, it's so much game. Man, it's so much game in this stuff. I'm telling y'all, man, they running so much hard game. Woo, go ahead.
So somebody got questions again. So
then, okay, does it sound familiar? They're gonna send them to the customer service, and then they're gonna connect them with somebody.
Yeah.
And then connect them with somebody, until you just get tired. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So this is grades pre-K through 12. So if you're at Frederick Douglass or if you're at the Bordeaux, all the way up into the high school, White Creek, Maplewood, Stratford, Overton, Hillwood, Pearl, and the list goes on. And so it gives you a breakdown of, the race, the number of schools, but then it gets into the funding and it talks about the ESSER one, which was all the way back last April, I believe, Sonia, and it was $26 million. And then they had another allocation, I think, that really helped with the internet and the Wi-Fi. And then it was like, all right, $26 million, we moving. We ain't never got this much money. Hey, we rolling. Then we got the ESSER 2 allocation, and it was $123.2 million. And it was like, all right, we can really do something. Like, we are going to change the way this is going. Like, we are really going to help kids. And then they got the ESSER 3. Every time we got a stimulus check, we got the $1,400 stimmy, they were getting the stimmy too. And the last one was $276 million, close to $277 million. Then they got a allocation for students experiencing homelessness.
Stop right there.
Okay.
The chairman of the school board did an op-ed talking about sending a child to the school with the most homeless and said it's under-resourced in that school. And you mean tell me I ain't noticed this. $2.3 million just for students who are homeless. Mm-hmm. Man, y'all, they play. I'm sorry, they playing us. White, black, everybody. We all getting played. We getting played. For real, y'all. Like, go read the Tennessee op-ed from Christian Buzz. And she highlights how, that school over there has the highest homeless rate of children. So most of the homeless children are over there in that school. So that means that most of that $2.3 million should have went over there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead. I'm just saying, man, stop getting played, y'all. I ain't getting played no more. Go ahead.
Yeah, but knowledge is power. And so when you look at the total allocation, again, this is spread over 2 to 3 years, depending on when we got the allocation. But at the end,
September 2023. It has got to be spent by September 2023.
Right. And so there we go. And so just, this, I'm a gloss over this, but then it goes into Yeah, blaster. So then it goes into the tutoring program. So that's 29 million, which is 6.9%. They talk about the summer program, which I think is the Promising Scholars, which is a supplement because the state gives money for that as well. And so we're getting money from the state and money from the federal government. Early reading, pre-K through third grade. This is one thing that I'm really focusing on because if we can't see jumps in those kids who are coming in, who are in school with this amount of money, like something is going wrong. You know, when the Titans got blew out Sunday, unfortunately, the first thing they said is it too early to start talking about the offensive coordinator because that's his responsibility, right? To run the offense. And so when we look at this amount of money, like that's what we should be looking at. Like, what is it happening for my kids directly, whether they're in kindergarten or first grade, but what is it happening even if my kid is in high school? And then it just goes through here. So I will send this out. We will post this on the page just so you can have it. They got teacher retention. They got grow your own. They got class size reduction. They got technology, high-speed internet, academic space.
Grow your own. Grow your own what?
Oh, see, now you're asking the questions.
Oh, I'm on Twitter. I done asked them what's a damn interventions. Now I'm finna ask them what's a damn grow your own. Grow my own what? Food what? Grow my own kid? Then I need that money. I bank with U.S. Bank. That just gets on my nerves. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. Yes, I am angry.
Yeah.
I am angry. Yeah, car. I am angry. Why shouldn't I be angry?
Yeah. And again, your anger comes from we struggling to make it. Like my son is suffering in math. Like he is on the right track this year, but I'm like, but what does that mean for his foundational skills? You know, and I got nieces and nephews who done made it through the system and walked across the stage, and we talk about it. Like they struggling. A couple of them made it to college. Like it's if we don't get it, it's almost like your warranty, right? The warranty while your kids are in school, the school system owes our kids to teach them and to help them grow and to help them to be ready for a system that's built on having a good education. The warranty for education says when they're still in school, you have a right, whether it's through an IEP or through a personal relationship with the teacher or the school, to make sure your kid is getting what they need. Once they leave, the warranty is gone. You can go back and say, man, my child needs this. And be like, we can't do anything for you. Your warranty is done.
Dr. Glover, the president of TSU, looked at me in my eyes and said, Miss Thomas, I hear what you're saying. I get those same students that you're talking about. Those same students that, get the opportunity to just make it into a college and university and take remedial courses.
Yeah.
And still don't finish.
Yeah. Yeah. And the state has put on them, they got, I think, 6 years. It's either 5 or 6 years to finish. And then that starts to affect TSU's funding. So
yeah, they now higher ed got money too. Yeah. So ain't nobody off the hook. Everybody needs to be accountable to something. Y'all arresting people for PPE loans. Don't get me started. See, I like being fair. You know what I'm saying? I've been seeing on the internet where they arresting people for PPE loans. They not doing nothing different than public education.
Right.
But they'll put them up under a prison.
Yep.
But your kid go from a schoolyard to a prison yard to a graveyard. And they can keep saying they're going to do something and never do it.
Yep. And Sonia, this is a little bit more of a breakdown. They talk about student readiness for the special populations. When we think about Bordeaux and we think about North Nashville around Cheatham Place, 178 million spending on economically disadvantaged. Description, it's academics, social emotional learning, and wraparound supports. Students with disabilities. Somebody told me
they're not doing nothing different. They're not. Look, this is just stuff on. I want to be clear, and I don't mean to stop you, John, but I want you guys to see how these people can put this. See, you ain't never seen this before, and I have. You ought to see the application they send to the state. When I met with Dr. Bad, I think it shocked her system when I knew what her plan said to the state. Because we don't never usually get to see this, but we showing y'all this. Y'all see this, and we're gonna give it to you so you can have it. And let me tell you something. They can put shit on here to make it sound pretty and never have to do it. Go ahead, John.
Do it.
Never have to do it.
But Kendall says knowledge is power, right? So she says, I don't know about now, but I was part of the Heroes program. They were underfunded and understaffed, but still tried to help our homeless kids shake our head. So this is not about the Hero program. The Hero program, which is the program that supports kids who may be in transition in housing. It's why is the Hero program
funded? That's separately funded. That's a whole nother pot of money, Ms. Malkin.
And what we're saying, why is it underfunded? Like, where is the money going? When somebody tells you I ain't got it, right? It's like when somebody owe you money, right? You be like, look, man, you owe my money. When you gonna pay? They be like, I ain't got it, bro. I just watched you. Like, I see your gold chain.
Your Gucci belt. What your Gucci belt?
I ain't got it.
I ain't got it.
That's what they said. They make you feel bad. Then they be like, hey, man, I keep asking them and they ain't got it. But in reality, when we look at this list, we know they got it.
Man, and it's got bullshit description. But see, when nobody calls this out, folk get, and I don't care, man. I'm tripping because they say stuff. This is what they said. Do y'all want a partner, or you just want to call out things that are negative? Shoot, do you want a partner?
Right.
That's like being in a bad relationship with some man that just telling you stuff and he beating the hell out of you. I mean, I'm just gonna put it to, I got to get on eye level with our people. Ain't nothing different. You want to be in a relationship with me, but then you gonna give me hogwash. Baby, he out with another woman. Baby, you didn't see me do nothing. Did I need to see anything else?
Right. Yeah, that's just like on cheaters. Like I don't watch them tell them a million times. What you talking about? Then they pull out the video and then they just walk off.
Cheaters.
They know they've been caught in a lie.
Did you say cheater? That's a good name for this. Cheaters.
I see what you're saying. We trying to teach the kids. And then we show the video.
And now it's because y'all didn't log into Infinite Campus. When you ain't even got it yet. But now it's gonna be turned around. That because you didn't log into see this is what they do. They do things, they do stopgap things to make them feel safe, right? Like we'll do something to put the onus on the parents so that we don't look bad. Like we got a space, like we know we wrong for this, but then we got a space to say that Miss Jones didn't log into Infinite Campus. What's that got to do with what happened in the classroom? I don't care if Miss Jones don't never look at one report card. You're supposed to be doing the stuff that helps to make the grades to the report card. Point blank.
And can I say this? And that's just not even with academics. It was a kid at one of the schools who got beat up really bad. And, the teacher walks him out to his parent. And this was despicable. And tells him, hey, your child is not in trouble. Your child was young. We know he wasn't the aggressor. We're doing everything to discipline those other kids. But what he said at the end, he said, but let me tell you what he did last week with his cell phone. Like to divert the attention away from him getting his butt kicked, to tell her that he didn't turn in his cell phone at the beginning of class last week. And he needed to let her know that. Like, And she just looked at him like, is that even important? We talking about life and death, and you talking about a cell phone?
Man, like it's just like I just think about. I can't wait to talk to Anna. Bless her heart, she's so sweet and so passionate.
Yeah,
and she has fought for dyslexic children. And to hear, she was so mad yesterday that she couldn't talk to me.
Yeah.
To hear another white mom on the phone at Costco right before I got on here, hollering and going off. Y'all hear me? Y'all think I be going off, honey. Some of my white girlfriends, honey, they be ready for it too. They be giving it to them. I love my girls. You hear me? Yes, sir. I love my girls. And she was just going off. And the reason why she was going off is because she's got friends that had kids in school 5 days. School
talk about that.
5 days of school. How? And then the school replied back that they got worksheets and notes. What about teachers?
Yep.
I'm starting to question why the hell we even send them. I'm starting to question. I got a lot of questions. I'm asking the Lord to deal with me because I it's got to make sense to me. And I don't think I'm no dummy or none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just got to make sense to me. And none of it makes any kind of sense. And the more they try to explain it, it makes me look at them side eyes like, you really saying that? That school board meeting last night, school board members talking about what they got. You got privilege and you have power. You're going to have what you're supposed to have.
Yeah. And it was such a disconnect. And Karen talks about all the stories I can tell. Like, and we want you to tell it because I think when we talk about the stories that we experience, we start to realize it ain't the only one. Like, it just didn't happen to my kid. It is happening everywhere. Then what do we realize, Sonia? Like, this is something that we need to address because it's not affecting one or two kids. It's affecting hundreds and thousands. And Sonia, going deep when you say, why we even send our kids to school? Like, one could look at you crazy, be like, but what do you mean?
Yeah, right.
Because we're so programmed to say 5 years old, kindergarten, 10 years old, like, hey, you getting ready to transition out and you're going to, go to the workforce. So you're going to, like, that's what we condition to. But you're saying if we're spending $1 billion a year and our return on investment, like if you get a Benz, right, or if you get a luxury car, do you expect it to break down? Nah, you ain't. You gonna go get an oil change and you'll probably go to the service department for something real in 2 or 3 years because you get what you pay for.
That's right.
Now, if you go to Dickinson Road car lot and get a car, what do you expect?
It to break down.
It's gonna break down, and it ain't. You can't even
no quality.
Yeah, like I got what I paid for. I gave him $3,000 to get it off the lot, and it lasted me 30 days. Cool. Stopgap.
Candice said at DuPont Elementary, some lady comes in class and measures desk width apart, and if the kids are too close together, kids get sent home because they don't want them there no way.
Not that they don't. Hold on. I thought it was about to read. I was like, that's good. Like, she measuring like we need to have.
They don't want them there, man. I'm telling y'all, man. They don't want them kids. Let me tell you something. Look, my son been in school since beginning of August, man. He ain't got sent home yet.
But
man, I'm
laughing. It's not funny, but
yeah, I'm laughing because I'm kind of hysterical about it, right? Like, then thank God he ain't been exposed now. But I'm telling y'all, it can be done because we in a whole month of school and he ain't been sent. I ain't got no letter about no exposures, no nothing. I'm like, so I started to investigate, right? I'm like, well, what they doing different over here? Right? Because I want everybody to be experiencing what I'm experiencing. They don't go to the lunchroom. What? They bring the lunch to the classroom. Like, they ain't all over each other.
I'm still saying she didn't say Yeah, like they come in there and like it's a quality control check, right? She was
Or
like,
they've been
nah.
exposed, or it's confirmed they've been exposed. She just said they just.
And let me go down here. So one thing that I DuPont, they was just celebrating DuPont. It was a celebration there on Monday.
For what? What the hell they celebrating? What's this slide say?
It's a celebration of schools.
What the hell they celebrating? Candice, they celebrate y'all school. I don't know what the hell they celebrating.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, though. Like, we don't say nothing. Man, they'll say, just like that navigator program. Woo! Boy, they celebrated at the school board, and they was clapping. I was like, it didn't work, though.
Yeah.
Ain't had no navigator.
Right.
Navigators ain't calling, really checking on them. But y'all celebrating, okay. And then admit, yeah, it had a whole lot of problems. But then you gonna give a promotion. Boy, y'all crazy as hell.
Mm-hmm. So Kendall says been there and couldn't press charges because it was on school grounds and the child was able to come to school the next day. But their issue was more about my daughter being late for school in the morning. So, working in the school system, what we would do before we had a meeting, we would huddle, Sonya. We would say, okay, who gonna meet the parent at the door? How we gonna bring them in? Who got the best joke? And then who gonna start the business? Like who gonna go right into it and who is gonna deliver the message, which is the redirect. Like,
and that's why I go in there like I go in there. Because I know that they didn't had a huddle, so I'm disrupting your fucking huddle, your freaking huddle. Excuse my language. Oops. I'm so sick of it. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm like, these people crazy. And they try to make it like the parent is crazy.
Yeah. And that's what we're dealing with. And so today I know we threw a lot at everyone, but appreciate Candace for jumping on, Miss Moffin, Ivorye, James Brown for jumping through. I think we had Candace who was on for a while. We had Miss Gamley. We had Miss Robertson. But we need to make sure that they can't look at us like we're crazy when we bring these attentions to the light. That's why we wanted to show you the budgets. So we talked about the homeless. I think one parent, Miss Mama, was like, yeah, they keep telling me they ain't got no money. And granted, it may have been last year, but I think if they ever tried that with Miss Moffin this year, next year, the year after, I think she can easily say that ain't right. I know better.
They've been having enough money.
Mm-hmm.
They've been having enough money. Money is not the problem. I mean, it's some people in the community that like want me to get on board with them about BEP. I'm like, man, ain't nobody trying to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't, and Dr. Batten hired somebody, a new chief financial officer, I guess. I guess the one they had wasn't working out. Mm-hmm. But hopefully this one will come in and help them, because they doing some really irresponsible, not so good practice stuff. You don't promote somebody off of a good idea. The Navigator program was a good idea, but it was not successful. It did not have a good outcome. Yeah. And I think that it's a total leadership failure. And it goes to show, I mean, it's done showed me something new about the leadership at MNPS. I mean, something that I kind of already knew, but now I have the evidence. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are going to start questioning that. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to stop talking about it.
At all.
Because if I did something, they wouldn't stop talking about me. I'm giving them something they can feel.
So that's always the reason. I think Candace said, but they got money for a paraprofessional. So one of the things I want to highlight is what's the plan as we look at students with disabilities? Like, so you can know and you can say it with confidence, like, no, like I need to make sure like my son has a pair. I think she said he's getting lost in school. And so we're looking at a huge safety issue. But Candace, look at this, and then let's talk maybe offline just about some of the things that we can do to work with the school to make sure if your son is getting lost and you having to buy, I think you said you have to sew something into a shirt. Like we need to work to make sure like you shouldn't be having to, put a tracker in your son's shirt. Yeah, she said, I think it says she put like an Apple tag in there.
Oh, okay. I'm confused.
Mm-hmm. But if we look at this, and I'm gonna blow it up, it says students with disabilities, and again, like it includes ARP, IDEA funds, additional EE, and then it cuts off because this is a PDF. But just in this, Ms. Brewington, it's been $57 additional million to support kids with disabilities.
How can we get this full form? Because see, I don't trust it. It's cut off. I want to see every word on here. That means I don't need to leave this. What I need to see every word on it. I'm gonna be missing something. How do we get a form that's not cut off?
Yeah.
Do I need to ask them on Twitter?
Yeah, I'm gonna send you one form. It was like an estate application, so I'll send it to you. You just gotta click it in order to see all the words, and then it'll show what's in these boxes, right? Like it says, students with DISA. It'll show you everything else that's in this box.
Yeah, we want to make sure the parents can see that.
Yep. So just know, Candace, that yeah, like we have, this is just 57 just for Nashville. And again, like anything and everything our kids need to be successful, that's what we need to be spending the money on.
Yeah, true that. She said IEP meeting is September the 30th at 12:30. Let us know if you want us to join. I might have a time.
She said, I'm gonna get the same excuses. Yeah, definitely let us.
No. Call us.
Yep.
You're not gonna get the same excuses. We've had a little success with not getting the same excuses at the IEP meeting.
Yep. And Miss Tammy looked like she's a first time commenting, but she says this will be my son's last year at Metro. He has autism, but very active and a high IQ, but will not go to middle school at any Metro school. And Tammy, what I would ask of you, don't let them off on the hook. Like when we think about your IEP meeting, like everything that your child deserves, your child needs to receive.
Yep. And save the other children too, who might not have the opportunity to go somewhere else.
Yep.
Like that's the important thing. A lot of us have enough, power or enough, insight to make a change. But a lot of other parents need us.
Yeah.
To do this together. And still though, you got to make sure that you stop the bleed with your child.
Yep.
Like, I'm saying keep your plan. But let's realize that there are other students in these schools who also need us to fight for them. Yep.
Says we don't have enough money to go to private schools, so we chose homeschooling. Yep, we should talk offline. DuPont Hadley has a reputation for not doing what the child needs. Again, Candace, I know you got your presence, but that's why we need to go in there as a team. Right?
Yep.
There's
another IEP going on in another Zoom room where it's only South. So we need to, really, ramp it up.
Yep. Karen says this was a true struggle. She has just really gave us stories about her daughter. I saw the invitation for the help work the concessions, Karen. I'll send you a separate note. And then, so did y'all know that now that the MNPS has virtual for all districts with no Zoom? Is this accurate? So they have a virtual school that you had to sign up for by June 4th, but they also got the virtual school if your kid is quarantined. They have access, but it's not the virtual how it was last school year. It's, what do you call it, sign? Your asynchronous, where you just have to upload, you have to sign on and do your work by 11:59 to get credit for being there that day.
I have no idea. I don't want to get nobody. I have no idea what it is. All I know is if you signing on, is there a teaching in the asynchronous?
No, there's no teacher. They said they got supports, but yeah, it's not virtual school.
I mean, we got homework hotline. We got, we don't need another resource. We need an educator.
Yep.
And I just, and to have teachers who have the highest pay in the state of Tennessee, and us for us not to get what we need from an educator. We need great educators.
Mm-hmm.
We need these great educators. And I don't know. It's just, this is what I'm going to tell y'all right here. I'm going to tear this whole street up if mine gets sent home without no teacher. I'm going to tear the whole street up. Y'all going to see me on 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10. We ain't got them channels. But let him come home. Somebody need to write me a check or something. Somebody better be on a Zoom. Mm-hmm. Somebody better be helping him, because he cannot learn like that. His learning style does not fit in that. So if your child, I'm saying it to say, if that's happening to your child, tear something up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You got my permission, I'll come tear it up with you.
Come on now. Guys, wow, we are stepping into high school. For high school, they reopened. They got some spots, but not for elementary and middle school.
Yeah, and there's an application. So we talked to Dr. Swin a couple of weeks ago, and she said that the district can apply for waivers to do remote learning. So I don't think Metro Schools has done it yet.
No. So Tammy Awali, all right, thank you for jumping on. Candace, thank you for getting in. Miss Nevaeh, we will see you tomorrow evening for mobilizing, organizing, and the rest of Access Denied. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys here next Wednesday at 11 o'clock.
Monday.
So, my bad. Hold on. It's not this Monday. It's the.
Oh, it's not. My bad.
Yeah, for the speaker series.
I keep doing that. I'm sorry, y'all.
Yep.
Who was that I told it was this coming Monday? I told somebody a lie.
But next Tuesday for the alum, I see some of y'all on here. I saw Ivorye and some others. We got the campaign training, so we look forward to seeing you guys on there. And next Wednesday at 11 a.m. Access Denied. We'll keep this thing. Ask your school the questions that you have. Hold them accountable. And so if you find yourself getting played, like, let's activate it and work with each other. Candace, I saw on there September 30th. I'll put on my calendar. I just look forward to hearing back from you. You just let us know what you want us to do.
Yeah, John, I think you might be out of office.
On the 30th.
I think so. Then I can step in. I can cover.
Yeah, let us know, and then we'll keep this train moving. But thank you, guys. Karen, thank you for jumping in. Tammy, Candace, Miss Nevaeh, Kendall, Ivorye. We'll see you guys next week.
All right. We got to be